G'day viewers, welcome once more to Totally Fucked Up, possibly still Friday somewhere in the world. Well, yeah look, the world's fucked up. We're seeing some of the worst news stories we've seen for ages, and people have asked me to comment on them, and I could, and that would A, wind up people in a way I didn't want to wind them up, and B, make it look like I was sort of reveling in the death, or at least trying to profit or benefit or make light from, which I don't want to do. So how about, as a public service, I'll do a little bit of a distraction in this video. Fucked up things, but not big, terrifying, end-of-the-world fucked up things. A collection of some of the most amazing headlines I've seen, and they all came out this week. Starting right here in Australia, I saw the headline, Deadpool arrested on Sydney train. And yes, they meant Deadpool, the Marvel comic character. What the hell's going on here? Well, a guy decided to dress up as Deadpool, apparently to raise money for charity in his workplace, which sounds noble, but he decided to go the whole way with the weapons, the ninja swords, guns, bullet bandoliers, in public, and I assume without explaining to anyone what he's doing. And you'd be surprised when someone gets on a train and appears to be heavily armed, people call the cops. And so the cops came and they had a word with him, and he was actually slightly lucky because he was breaking several laws in Australia, even though they were toy guns. Yes, gun nuts in America, you get busted in Australia for having toy guns if people are threatened by them, or even actually just having a realistic replica is a criminal offence. So that ought to really wind up the pro-gun people in the US. That's how bad it is here. We're living in a Stalinist dictatorship, and the vast majority of the population prefers it that way. Sorry. But yeah, so he got a talking to by the cops, and he's really lucky that's all he got. And after they worked out, was, oh, he's doing it for charity. Okay, where you going? How about you put the fucking weapons in a bag until you get to work? Seriously, people who do shit like this are fucking idiots. Try thinking for 5 seconds. This guy was actually at the mild end of the scale. There's a couple of incidents I know of just here in Melbourne. If it happens in Melbourne, I assume this shit happens all around the world. If you are going to do something public that involves you having something that looks like or is a weapon, or doing something that looks like a criminal activity, you fucking need to call the cops and tell them that you're going to do it, because otherwise people are going to call the cops and you're going to end up being arrested. This is happening in Melbourne. Some guys go, oh, I'm going to make like a zombie apocalypse video for YouTube, and they're going with realistic looking guns off the top of buildings, and people down in the street saw fuckwits on top of a building pointing guns around. Surprised they called the cops. Another bunch of guys did a thing where they were videoing a kidnapping at gunpoint in a public street, and they were surprised when people called the cops. Grow a fucking brain, for fuck's sake. Yeah, the world's not just you. If you're going to do something that looks criminal or dangerous, you need to establish with the people around you that it's not real, okay? And particularly if you actually try to make people think this shit is real because you're doing a prank, you're a fucking moron, and I hope you get arrested, because I hate that shit, quite honestly. Well, moving on, and if I'm going to go with legendary fucked up news stories, you know Florida's going to be in there, right? And this one comes from Florida with the headline, Nude Beach blowjob jet ski fight leads to wife's death. Now, I almost didn't include this because someone did die, but the headline, Nude Beach blowjob jet ski fight. Incidentally, that's the name of my death metal band. Album coming out for Christmas. Look out for it. Turns out, at this nude beach in Florida, a dude is blowing another dude, and dude's wife catches him. And rather than having a, frank and open and honest discussion about sexuality, they got into a violent fight. You may be surprised to learn they were apparently both drunk. Apparently the guy threw his wife off the jet ski several times and ended up dumping her on a sandbar. And she unfortunately died from the injury. She was taken to hospital and died in hospital. See, this is what happens when you don't talk, people. Relationships are all about communication. Okay, you gotta be open. If you're gonna be blowing someone in public on a nude beach, you want to have a pretty open conversation with your partner, is all I'm saying. And keeping on the topic of sex, possibly my favourite headline, and you see there's quite a bit of competition in headline land. This one, lizard sex satellite orbiting Earth out of Russia's control. It's got everything. I didn't know there was such a thing as a lizard sex satellite for a start, but it's also out of control. The Russians put it up there and it's out of control. What it was is a series of experiments with various flora and fauna orbiting, and apparently it included making geckos have sex in space to see what effect zero-G has. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say there's some pretty fucking weird scientists in Russia. What did we do, Sergey? Hey, let's put some lizards on a satellite and put a camera on them and watch them fuck. Yeah, lizard space porn. People blame this on the internet. This is not on the internet. People say if it exists, there's porn of it. Russians are off inventing lizard space porn, and now it's out of control. And they're trying. You know what's happened, right? The lizards are up there having sex, and they got exposed to cosmic radiation, which made them super intelligent, and they've taken over the ship. And you know what's next? They're sick of just lizard sex. They're coming to Earth, and they're going to have sex with